Hi, everybody. TJ here, and this is another one of our premium member meetings for urlaw.org. And tonight we have a extra special guest. We had him on a couple of weeks ago. We had a little bit of a technical issue, so we wanted to go through this again and maybe go in a little bit more depth and so forth. So tonight I'll be introducing you to our guest speaker. Just a couple of announcements before we get started. Um, as you all know, this is UR Law. If you're here, you're probably a premium member, or you might even be a free member because we invited some of our free members as a guest. If you want information about more membership details, just go to urlaw.org/join to get details on that. Now, as to tonight's presentation, it's really exciting for me to have Payman here. As you all know, probably if you've heard of him or if you've heard of our previous recordings we've done with him, he really has this nailed down on the subject of taxes. I can tell you the reason I have him here is because of my own story, which is so many of you know, I've had my run-ins with the legal system, in particular the IRS, and I don't want you to make the same mistakes I made and end up with getting indicted and ending up having to deal with probation and those kinds of things. It'd be better if you could just avoid it. And the good news is, as Payman teaches, um, avoidance is really the best thing. The law is actually written for your benefit if you understand how to read it. And he's an expert at showing you what it actually says. And there's no patriot theories required or status required. You already have it. It's right there already in the law. But the problem is most people don't know how to read that. It's actually relatively simple once you understand it. But once you understand how to read it, you'll be able to execute it. And the key word here is avoidance. Don't make the mistakes. And this helps you avoid what to do going forward. So, and so just remember, everybody here, this is not legal advice. This is Payman's opinion on how to do things. But I can tell you, of all the guys that have been around in this world of dealing with this issue and this subject, he's been around the longest, as he'll share with you. He's taken the bullets, just like I've taken the bullets, and fortunately survived. But the good news is he's going to tell you how to really avoid those kinds of issues, and he'll back it up with the numbers that really tell the truth. So, Payman, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Can you see me?
I can see your screen.
Okay, let me see. Oh, here we go.
There he is.
What now?
All right, now we're talking.
Oh, yeah, put me so I can see myself also somehow. Okay.
All right.
Very
Well,
good,
Payman,
teaching.
thanks for coming again.
My pleasure.
But I want to just thank you so much. I went to your event in Orlando recently. I recommended everybody on our website try to get there. Of course, it was fairly short notice, but anything like that comes again, everybody get there. You'll meet the people that have done it. You'll meet the people that have been through the battles, from the Joe Bannisters to the guys like that. I spent a lot of time talking to them, even about my own battle scars. The good news is I'm still standing, and that's why I'm still here. I'm here to promote freedom for all of you. And the reason you need to meet Payman and pay close attention to what he says on this issue is because he's got the proof. Bottom line. And the law is in his favor. And it's your favor too. So Payman, if you'll take it away, I appreciate you coming.
Well, thanks for having me. Let me just tell a little about myself because people are wondering who's this guy with a name like Payman Motahedeh. Well, my friends, I'm an immigrant from Iran who came to America in 1977 at the age of 14 from what I thought the oppressive, tyrannical Iranian governmental system to the land of the free and home of the brave. Instead, in the 1980s, I found out that America is not as free as it was pictured in the movies I saw in the 70s as a child. And it's no longer land of the free and home of the brave. It's become land of the meek and the indentured slaves. So I got involved with the Libertarian Party as soon as I became a citizen in 1989. And back in 1992, when I was 29 years old, all this was black hair. I went to a seminar and I found out that income tax is an absolute scam and a fraud, that the average person like you and me does not have to file income tax. Now, I knew back then that the problem with our system is that the politicians basically work for the big banks and corporations who pay the money for the election campaigns of the politicians. Democrat, Republican, unfortunately, many of them are the same. And we libertarians, freedom-loving people, did not have enough money to support our candidates. So I thought, well, that's an easy solution. Don't pay income taxes. You don't owe to the federal government. Now you have more money for yourself and your family. Do what you want the way you want it. It's your money. And at the same time, we have money left over to fund the, good politicians that represent we the people to live in a free country once again. So I've been teaching that now for over 30 years. Iris has known about me. I've not filed and paid any income tax now for over 30 years openly. I've been teaching Americans for over 3 decades. Folks, you don't have to pay income tax. You are not a slave. The founding fathers of America wrote the Constitution to make sure you are not a slave. And it's still there. The income tax is completely constitutional. It is legal. It only applies to citizens and residents of Washington, D.C., and federal workers, contractors, and pensioners. That's it. Other than that, all of us from the 50 states don't have to pay any income tax. No different than someone from Egypt, France, or Japan. We're not part of the District of Columbia, where the federal government can impose direct taxes on the people any way they want to, because the Constitution does not apply to Washington, D.C. for tax purposes. The Supreme Court has said that clearly. So, and here I am, Iris, and I have had many battles and skirmishes. I've beaten them many times in the courts, their own federal district court, federal tax court. I've had Irish lawyers, Irish agents dealing with me back off. And I've been helping people to not support a criminal swamp and restore freedom for now since 2001. I started a program where I take care of everything for people if they want me to. None of my students who ever came to me clean stopped filing and paying income tax with Freedom Law School, which I started in 1996. Ever gone to prison or had to pay even $1 by levy in the bank account or paycheck or property, all been safe. I'm not in prison myself. Iris knows me. They don't dare indict me because they know I'll put them in. I win. They would never indict me for not having filed and paid income taxes because they know no law requires me to file and pay income tax just like the rest of you. So TJ and I met, a few years ago. It was a pleasure to meet him and Yolanda, his lovely wife. And we've been trying to wake up educated American people about all this. Our website, of course, is freedomlawschool.org, where you can regain your power and freedom, never again have to pay the Washington, D.C. swamp. And I tell people here, it's all based on U.S. government's official legal websites, why 98% of Americans do not have to file income tax. So with that, folks, that's you. You are like Mel Gibson, the Patriots. You can be free, like what you see on the screen is Founding Fathers of America. You have that spirit in you. All of you guys listen to me. I know that because you were TJ. So here I am. I'm here to educate you guys, answer questions any way you want. So TJ, what do you want me to do from you? Give me a little overview, or how do you want to go from here, my friend?
Oh, I think you should give them a little bit of an overview because a lot of them aren't familiar with you and your approach to things generally, because otherwise questions will come from everywhere. I think it's good to set a foundation first before we take the questions. So go ahead and give me your overview.
I'll be happy to. Well, folks, I'm going to bring you to my screen, follow along, and at the end, I'll be answering, of course, your questions for you. So you go to our website, freedomlawschool.org, okay? And then you go down. You see 7 steps. You can take these 7 steps to free yourself of virus deception, fear, robbery, or slavery, and live free with a 100% guarantee if you choose. Folks, here's what they do. It's very simple how they get you to be a slave. And a solution for you not to be a slave, be free. Okay. What they do is they deceive you. Okay. Let me go back to it. Deception is how they scare you with fear. Once they deceive you, now they got you with fear. Okay. Just like the corona hoax. They scared people with lies that, oh, there's this virus that's killing people in mass. You have to lock down, double mask, get the jabs, all of them. Even on the streets, and you see people driving in their own car and walking by themselves in the street, putting masks on, walking by themselves because they're dying. See, that's that they get you with fear through deception. So I'm going to free you of that fear by giving you the law. Okay. Once you have the law, they see it's on your site from U.S. government's official legal websites, then everything is downhill from there. So the 7 steps is really, number 1 is follow the law. We're stickler for the law. Step 2 is the end the filing of income tax forms. Step 3 is realize the IRS is over 99% bluff. Step 4 is take courage from our and our students' victories over the IRS. Step 5, write your lawmakers about the law. Now, here it's all free, optional. You can do all this for free on our website, freedomlawschool.org. You don't have to pay me or anybody anything else. It's free. The petitions, step 5, it's all free. So I encourage you all to stop paying the criminals in Washington, D.C. the taxes you never legally owed in the first place. Okay. So now some of you will insist no payment. I really would like to have someone like you with experience backing me up. I will feel more secure that way, safe that way. Can you do that for me? Yes. If you want that option, we provide it for you. That is step 6. You can join our Restore Freedom Plan and we protect you 100% from the IRS. And we'd love to have you spread the word, to tell Americans we got to take back our government, take back our freedoms. So you go down to start the 7 steps, click on that, and you go down, you see there it is. Step 1, follow the law. Again, we are sticklers for the law. We don't want to break any laws. So what we do, rather than getting some incompetent accountant, CPA, TurboTax, HR block, or some tax attorney's opinion, we go directly to the official legal websites of the U.S. government. That's where they are supposed to go. All these so-called experts, which are ignorant and are misleading you, this is the Internal Revenue Code, the federal tax laws, the Bible of the IRS. Over 10,000 pages of confusing gobbledygook, which your CPA tax guy pretends to know when they don't, because it doesn't apply to you, almost none of it. The definitions at the end, they hit it at the end, not at the beginning for you to see, at the end, so you don't realize you've been tricked into believing that you got to file income tax. Okay. So I'm going to go over this right now a little bit for you folks. Okay. And that is the 1040 form. Okay. I'm going to bring it up for you. You can do it yourself, folks. 1040 income tax form. You assume that this form that you see that this is for you, but this is not. This 1040 U.S. individual income tax is actually a Washington, D.C. individual income tax. That U.S. does not represent the 50 states, like we all are misled to believe. Okay. And they hid the truth for you in the law books. Okay. So I'm going to show it to you right here. Okay. We're going to go to you see here, the government's official legal website, uscode.house.gov. And this is where it says the United States Code is a consolidation and codification by subject matter of the general and permanent laws of the United States federal government. And it is prepared by the Office of the Law Revision Council of the United States House of Representatives. Yes, this is the official source of the law. Any attorney worth his salt needs to go here. This is the source of what the federal laws are about, okay? It's updated on a regular basis by the U.S. government. So we're going to go at uscode.house.gov, and we're going to go to section 1, tax imposed. Everybody knows part 1, tax on individuals, is right here, section 1, right? Now, the language of section 1 is a little bit confusing, so I'd like to go to the U.S. Treasury's interpretation of section 1, which is more clear, okay? So here we are. I'm going to go to the Code of Federal Regulations, which are the regulations of U.S. Treasury, and they say right here on part 1.1-1, income tax on individuals. They say right here that section 1 of the Internal Revenue Code imposes an income tax on the income of every individual who's a citizen or resident of the United States. And you're thinking, oh, that's me. That is me. I'm a citizen of the United States. But no, you're not. Not for tax purposes. For nationality, immigration purposes, absolutely. I'm an immigrant. I became nationalized. I'm a U.S. citizen for nationality purposes, and so are you. You are a citizen of your state, U.S. citizen, and U.S. national at the same time, but not for tax purposes. They have special definitions, okay? So let's go see what these definitions are right here in the Internal Revenue Code, Title 26, the book I just showed you. It's available online. And here's chapter 79 on definitions. And they define many different things that do not need any definition in this section, 7701. When used in this title, Title 26, again, I'm talking about the Internal Revenue Code, the federal tax laws, online. Okay, let's go to it. They define many things here in this Title 26, Internal Revenue Code, that do not any defining, but Congress wants to make sure to give the specific, clear definition they want to use. So let me give you an example of that. You know, I'm a liberal, gay, progressive man, all for gender-affirming care in the original sense, not the corrupt one that they try to deceive you in. Liberal means generous. I'm generous. The people that call themselves liberal are actually communist, socialist. They want the society and the community through government run our lives. They're not liberal, okay? Also, I am a very happy, colorful guy. That's gay is. That's what gay means. But I'm not homosexual. I'm happily married with many children. I'm also for progress of man into freedom, knowledge, and wisdom, not back to slavery that these communists and socialists that call themselves liberal and progressives they want. Also, I believe we want to save people's lives by affirming that I'm a man, you're a man or woman, whatever you're born with. But they call this chemical and physical castration and mutilation of people and children, gender-affirming, life-saving care. You see, it's how you define things that matter. So tomorrow, do not call liberals liberals or progressives. They're communists, okay? And you can be as gay as me because you're happy and colorful like me, okay? Okay, so definitions are critical to everything. That's how they deceive us. Let's look at the tax definitions of the terms United States and state. Let's go to the word state. The term state shall be construed to include the District of Columbia, which is not even a state. DC is not a state, it's a territory, it's a district of the federal government, right? And this understanding is necessary to carry out the provisions of this title. None of the 50 states are listed here. California, Texas, Florida, none of them are listed here. On purpose. Otherwise, why would they just list it in there? Now look at the United States. The term United States, when used in a geographical sense, which is that's what we want to know, includes only the states, which means now District of Columbia, we know. And again, the District of Columbia. So you have DC plus DC. What do you get? You still have only DC. So the term United States in tax laws means only DC. So we look at this law that, that section 1 of the code imposes an income tax on income of every individual who is a citizen or resident of DC. That's what you got to read here, not the 50 states. Now, I know you're thinking, Paymon, come on. Obviously, the 50 states are clearly implied. Everybody knows the United States means the 50 states. And the states also means the 50 states. They don't have to list it there. Everybody knows that, right? Wrong. Let me show you how this stuff works according to the U.S. Supreme Court, okay? It's a case of Stenberg versus Carhart, year 2000 Supreme Court case. And here's what the court says. When a statute or law includes an explicit definition, explicit like the one you see right here. See, let me show it here. There we go. Here's the only United States and state only include DC, not the 50 states. Okay, we must follow that definition, even if it varies from that term's ordinary meaning. See, what you and I think, or the meaning of the term 50 states in the United States, doesn't matter. We have to go with what the lawmakers write. And it is axiomatic, which means self-evident, obvious, that the statutory definition of the term excludes unstated meanings of that term. What's not there is not there. What's not listed, was not stated, is not there. Plain and simple. Okay? So here it is. United States and states do not include the 50 states. They're not there. United States only means DC. Now I'm going to give you another court case to back this up further. This is U.S. Supreme Court, Wool versus Gould, 1917, unanimous 9-0 tax case. And this is a holding or conclusion of the court. In the interpretation or understanding of statutes, laws, levying taxes that impose taxes. So, in understanding laws that impose taxes, it is the established rule not to extend their provision of tax laws by implication, by implying beyond the clear import of the language used, or to enlarge their operations of the tax laws so as to embrace matters not specifically pointed out. If it's not specifically pointed out, it's not there. It's got to be specifically pointed out, otherwise it's not there. And if you still have a doubt, Supreme Court tells us, in case of doubt, the tax laws are construed or interpreted most strongly against the government's power to tax and in favor of the citizen not being taxed. Not just against the government, not just strongly against government. Any doubt, in case of doubt, the tax laws are construed most strongly against the government power to tax and in favor of you not being taxed. You cannot get any stronger than most strongly against the government. Got it? So now you took the red pill. Okay, of truth. But it get more interesting. Watch. And so I'm going to show you some other definitions. Look at this for trade or business. in the same section 7701, okay? Here, they define trade or business to include the performance of the functions of a public office. This was a definition that blew my mind. This is what opened my mind. I said, what? That's ridiculous. How can a federal judge, FBI agent, congressman, bureaucrat with Forest Service be in a trade or business for making money? That's bribery. That would be illegal. Whether the regular business people are included in that or not, it certainly cannot include government workers, but clearly it does. That's who is listed. Anybody who does performance of the function of federal public office. I said, wow. If that's the case, clearly does not mention any businessman. No plumber, electrician, network marketer, real estate agent, businessman of any kind, or lawyer, doctor. No one's included in here. Clearly. See, but they use these terms to deceive you to think, oh, I'm a businessman. I'm involved in trade business, so I got to pay income tax. No, you don't. Okay? They just tricked you. And the truth, all this was hidden in plain sight. It was always there. They never lied to you. No. They'll let you deceive yourself and assume that the United States and trade business mean what they want you to believe. You never looked it up. Because of the public fool system. I was ignorant. Nobody taught me this stuff to me in high school. I didn't know, just like you. But they can say honestly, well, we told you. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Your problem. You should have looked it up for yourself. Okay? So, let's go now to another interesting definition. Now you see why you are not a United States person for tax purposes. Because the term United States person means, look at that, a citizen or resident of the District of Columbia. A domestic partnership within the United States, which is DC, a DC partnership, a domestic to DC corporation. See, now you see the term United States, it's like, oh, I got it. We define dog to mean cat. So whenever in law you read dog, you should replace it automatically with, cat, and not dog. They can do that. That's exactly what they've done. To enslave the American people for over 100 years. Even back in 1913, when they wrote the first modern income tax law, they never included the 50 states in the definition of the term United States. That's another, it's on my website. These videos with more detail are at freedomlawschool.org. All this you can see for yourself in more detail. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of all this, okay? So now that you see that, everything makes more sense, right? Now look at this Title 26 Internal Revenue Code, okay? Subchapter 8, Tax on Petroleum. Look at this. Section 4612, definition of special rules. And for purposes of this subchapter on a tax on petroleum has its own unique definitions, right? Just for this subchapter. Look at here. United States. Oh, look at that. United States means the 50 states. See? They can list and do list the 50 states when they want to, when the Constitution allows them to do so. That's what they do it. Oil taxes can apply throughout the 50 states and territories and everything out there. In fact, look at the definition. It includes also DC and a bunch of U.S. territories, and includes the continental shelf areas and also foreign trade zones. And there are many more examples of this. You see on my website, freedomlawschool.org, on my videos, where you see that United States means for this subchapter, this definition. For the other chapter, That definition. Okay, I just gave you enough right up to see that. So now you know you've been deceived not to have to file income tax. You don't. April 15th is another day, just like today, for me. You don't have to file income tax at all. You are conned, tricked into paying the DC swamp. Okay, you no longer have to. Now, when I show that to people, some people tell me or they think, "Oh, Paymon, I don't know about that. The IRS is so powerful. I'm just going to file and pay my taxes just to be safe." You're thinking the same thing? To file income tax anyways, to be safe, you think? Think again. Okay? Here. I'm going to take it now to step 2. This is what you do when you file a 10 for income tax confession trap form. You put the rope around your neck when you sign that doggone 1040 form on that penalty of perjury. The IRS deceived you to do it yourself. You can go to prison for 9 years for every single 1040 form you sign. I'll show you. See, you do the very thing that weakens you, gives them the power. You got to stop filing income tax forms. When you sign the 1040 form, confession form, you state under oath that you owe the IRS money. You are putting a noose around your neck and give the IRS the power to audit you, empty your bank account, steal your property, and put you in prison. Yep. Say, come on, Paymon. What are you saying? No. I'm telling you. You know, the safest way to have the IRS leave you alone is to not to file any income tax confession trap forms. Look, here's a 1040 form, right? Look at the signature line right here. You unwittingly increase your chance of going to prison for taxes when you sign under penalties of perjury that your 1040 form is true, correct, and complete. Yeah. And your accountant, TurboTax, CPA tax attorney, says, "Oh, yeah, well, I know this thing so well." All this gobbledygook. He doesn't understand none of it. You wishing, hoping he knows it, all the stuff, but he filled out the form for you, right? But you signed under oath, not him. How you like that? Not TurboTax, not HR on block, right? They put the rope around your neck, and he gets paid for putting the rope around your neck. Look at this on a 1040 form. Sign here, it says. And then look at that tiny font. You never paid attention to that, did you? Now you are. What does that line says? Under penalties of perjury. Yes. What does penalties of perjury mean? That's all true, correct, and complete, which means throw me in prison if everything on this form is not true, correct, and complete. The form that the accounting software company or your accountant, CPA tax attorney filled out, but they don't go to prison. They don't sign under oath. You do, and you go to prison. That's how come IRS got so much power over you. They deceived you to give it to them. Just like the corona jab. This corona hoax was not, nobody died of COVID. They had a phony test. That test positive. Oh, you got COVID because the stupid test, which does not detect the virus, says that you got it. But there's no such thing as coronavirus anyways, by the way. Test is phony. Okay. Oh, so you better take the jab. Take our medications, our drugs. That's how they do it, by deception. Okay. So, and when you signed an income tax IRS 1040 form, confession trap form, that's right. It's a confession and it's a trap. They get you to confess against yourself in this trap. It's a trap they laid, and it's easy to confess against yourself under oath. You said under oath that you owe the IRS money. Here it is, line 37. Read it. This is the amount you owe. You claim you owe the IRS money. See, they did not put a gun to your head. No. They just deceived you. It's like, if your neighbor wants 100,000 from you, he has to sue you in court, you'll be charged for a trial. But if you sign a piece of paper under oath that you owe the neighbor $100,000, he can take that note under oath that you gave him to the court to get a quick judgment against you, seize your bank account, paycheck, all your property. Right? Because you said it under oath, yet you owed the neighbor $100,000. Well, that's what you do with the IRS. Otherwise, they have to, just like your neighbor, give you a tax proposal, say, we believe you owe us money, and you have a right to trial in America. Yes, this is America, not third world countries, dictatorships. They want to propose a tax on you, you can challenge it in U.S. tax court and beat them. But you deprive yourself of that right. You just hang yourself. I owe you money, IRS. I swear. And you say, oh, master, please take it easy on me. Please accept my expenses deduction credits, my TurboTax HR block account, the CBA has me due. Okay, please accept it. Don't pick on me. Don't audit me. Don't ask me to prove my expense deductions credits, these schedules. I don't understand it. This accountant guy, he did it for me. I hope he knows what he's doing. I hope he knows the law. But I'm doing it because I think I have to. Because I'm your slave master under oath. I swear. Please, please take it on me. On your little humble little slave. You see what they reduced you to? They reduce you to a slave through deception. You never had to do this at all. You never had to put yourself in that position at all in the first place. So you say, well, Paimon, I was tricked. I see that. What I do now? Well, very simple. If you're used to every year on April 15th, because you hit against the wall, and you said, oh, it hurts. Ouch. I don't like it, but I think there's a law requiring me to hit my head against the wall. I'll hit my head against the wall. Follow that 1040 form. What's the solution? You simply stop hitting your head against the wall. Stop feeling God. I signed those 1040 forms. Quit sign those doggone forms. It's that simple. Okay? So that's step 2. Hope you guys got that point pretty clearly. Okay? Now, I can go a lot more about this. I'm going to go a little bit more on this briefly for you guys. Let me see. Here was step 3. You guys got to realize Irish is mostly over 99% bluff. Okay? Here's the major media, the same liars that gave you the Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, gave you 9/11 lies that a bunch of Arab terrorists did it. That John F. Kennedy died with single bullets, right? One assassin. And told you Trump-Russia conspiracy theory, right? All this stuff. The liars in a corrupt major media made you afraid of the Irish. Here's you, the American people on the left. And Freedom Law School on the bottom, the total is exposing the Irish deception that this is how weak they are. They are weak. They are the Wizard of Oz. Don't be afraid of them. Okay, they're deceiving you. Okay, this is the real reason why people have been paying income tax in America. You've been programmed to by the corrupt major media, the IRS, charismatic preachers. I want to get this tax deductible donation to the church for fear, deception, okay, panic, adoration, relaxation, just go along with the crowd. You don't have to do this anymore, okay? Now, step 3 is realize the Irish is mostly bluff. Folks, I don't have time. This is my favorite one, but I'm going to go real quickly because we don't have time. But the best way to have the Irish leave you alone is to stop filing income tax confession trap forms. Yep. The Irish in 2017 stopped going after people who do not file 1040 income tax confession trap forms for the following 7 reasons. I'll tell you real quickly, the number of filers is overwhelming to the IRS. That's right. There were 63 million people, according to the IRS back then. but now it's about 80 million people. Yep. Here it is. There's a letter from the IRS back in 1998 telling this guy that based on the 1996 numbers, IRS estimate there are about 63 million taxpayers who've not filed a tax return and initially would appear to have a legal requirement to file. This is not the people that made $5,000 or $2,000 a year. No, these guys made above the minimum file requirement according to the IRS. And they have your W-2. They have the 1099 information. They tell you this estimate is based on data available to the service on the individual master file computer system of the IRS. Yeah. So that's how they deceive you. You know, did you realize there was 80 million non-filers out there? I bet you didn't. There's about 150 million tax returns filed and 80 million non-filers. So every 2 people are running around out there, files the 1040 form, the ropes around the neck, and 1 doesn't. It's a lot of people out there. 80 million, folks. So are 80 million Americans in prison for not filing 1040 income tax confession forms? Are 80 million non-filers, paychecks, bank accounts, and homes in danger of being taken by the IRS because they don't file? Of course not. IRS is losing most of their employees and having a hard time replacing them. Yeah, that's right. That'd be a huge number of people leaving them. That's why they're having these 87,000 people hired in 10 years. Losing 52,000 and 79,000 IRS employees by 2028. Okay, this is all documented from their own files. That's where they got some money to get $8,700 per year. Okay, and IRS has failed to fix its antiquated computer systems and has now suspended most updating initiatives. They still on 1960s assembly language and COBOL. Really? I'm not kidding you. I took COBOL back in 1980. I was 18 years old in college. Now they're writing the same doggone thing. You know, you assume that there's, oh, for God, they are, because the media tells you, and they're experts tell you, take the jab. Take the jab, no matter what. Take the jab and the boosters to be safe. The experts on media tell you, file 1040 form. File 1040 form to avoid penalties and interest. Even if you don't have the money, that's okay. File to avoid penalty and interest. Put the rope around your neck. That's what they're doing. Lying, deceiving experts on the major media, right? So, IRS cannot even keep up with filers who have confessed to owing IRS money. Here it is. Back in 2010-11, about 3.67 million people, they used to levy, take their bank account paycheck. Yep. That's the top dark blue line on top, the green blue line. But by 2021, crashed to only 300,000. That's over a 90% drop. Over a 90% drop in IRS levies. That is a crash. Not a drop, it's a crash. They're failing organization, folks. And you don't know this thing. Oh, where did I find this? On page 194 of the U.S. Taxpayer Advocates Report. It's all there. You just didn't know where to look. Right? It's all there. The facts are there. You can listen to the source documents are there. Everything I'm telling you, go check it out for yourself. And it's far more profitable for the IRS to go after filers than after non-filers. So, yep, the IRS collects over $300 for every $1 that IRS spends collecting from Americans who file 1040 income tax confession trap form. The ones that are having trouble collecting, these are filers. They can't even keep up with them, right? The IRS collects just under $3 for every $1 that the IRS spends collecting from Americans who do not file 1040 income tax confession trap forms. So, given that, over $300 or under $300, right? That's your choice. If you were the IRS, right? Which Americans would you go after? Filers or non-filers? Duh. It's obvious you focus on the filers. They're much more profitable. So again, this myth that the corrupt major media drummed in your head for decades. Yes, drummed in your head. If you don't file, you go to prison. IRS will take your bank account and paycheck. Whoa, be afraid. Always file. Pay your fair share of taxes. It's all deception. All this documentation is, you see it. freedomlaw.org. Go check out the details for yourself. It's all there. They're leaving non-filers alone. See, for the above reasons, in 2017, IRS management decided to leave tax non-filers alone. This is a crash. This is a report came out in 2017. Yep, from the Treasury Inspector General for tax administration. That's their report. IRS leave non-filers alone. It's a crash. The number of non-filers used to be about 1 million. They come after somehow. Now it's down to near zero on 2016. Yep. Almost a 99.9% drop, literally. 99.9% drop. It's so bad that they suspended this ASFR program to come after non-filers. And another report in 2020 said that IRS is leaving high-income non-filers owing billions alone. They're leaving high-income non-filers alone. IRS refuses to go after extremely rich non-filers. In this report, you can see it for yourself. Read it on your own if you want to. U.S. Treasury auditors gave the IRS a list of the 100 richest income tax non-filers who each would owe the IRS about $100 million. That's each of them would owe 100 million to the IRS. 100 people, right? These are rich, rich, rich people, aren't they? And recommended to the IRS to go after these people. You'd think, well, that's a no-brainer. Sure, IRS, you get this from the top leadership, go after these guys, 100 people, just assign a few agents to them. Yeah, no problem, right? Easy money, 10 billion. The IRS is so broken, disorganized, lazy, and irresponsible communist organization. Communist. Nobody owns it. No one's responsible. They are totally irresponsible that the IRS refused to commit to going after these extremely rich high-income non-filers. So let me ask you, if the IRS leaves extremely rich non-filers alone, which the list is given on a silver platter from the top, U.S. Treasury auditors to IRS's management, they don't go after them. Why would the IRS come after you? Compared to these billionaires, you're nothing. Financially, right? What would they come after you for? There's about 80 million non-files already with another little slave ant that got away to them. I'm not saying that's for sure. That's the way they view you and every one of you. See? They got you all worried about, they're going to come get me. That's how they got you. Okay? In fact, there are only 31 U.S. tax court judges to go after 80 million non-filers. Yeah. There's already way too many non-filers. It's absolutely impossible for the IRS to go after 80 million innocent non-filers. And this picture shows a stadium with capacity of 75,000. Look at these heads. Look at that. Every one of these is a human being like you. That's just one stadium full of people, 75,000 people. That's a lot of people, right? Well, guess what? There are 80 million non-filers in America. To seat all innocent non-filers in America would take 1,000 stadiums. To go after all 80 million non-filers in trial, each tax court judge would need to handle equivalent of 34 stadiums filled to capacity. Yeah. One judge handle 34 stadiums like this. Can you do that? No, of course not. But they never told you that there's so few tax court judges. because they cannot just audit you with a non-files. They got to make a case and give you a chance to challenge them in court, in tax court. But as long as you're scared, IRS, they got you. Deception. That's how you do it, okay? So here it is. This is from Tax Pro website. The number of tax pro judges is 31 of them. Yep. Less than one judge per state. Right? So don't be afraid, guys, at all of the IRS. And I'm telling you, IRS is a myth. The media portrays for you. The reality is the lizard has no umph at all to deceive you, to be scared. You can take courage from our victories that no student of Freedom Law School has ever gone to prison for federal taxes, nor had the paycheck or bank account levied or home business seized by the IRS. Not one who came to us clean, stopped filing income tax with us, and stayed with us. I've done it for now over 22 years. I'm not in prison myself either. The IRS knows I'm teaching people like you don't pay income tax. Oh, let's get that tax scammer, Paymon. Oh, he teaches people how to pay their fair share of taxes. Well, if I'm a criminal, why they try to put me in prison? Because they know you are not by law required to file income tax. They know. I'm only exercising my First Amendment rights on the Constitution to just share with you information, the law from government's official websites, legal websites, and reports. And reporting, and we got to correct and stop these criminals in DC who made you a slave. They're supposed to work for us, folks. You are their masters. You don't work for them. They work for you. You are the bosses. Think like it. Act like it. And there we go to step 5. Okay? Step 5 is about you not being tribute to the beast. You don't have to worship it's really Satan. It's really slavery, IRS. Okay? You don't have to. You can question these so-called authorities, the congressmen who make the law. Write your congress members. File and pay income taxes only if your congressman can show you the law that requires you to file and pay income taxes. They cannot show it to you. We've done this thousands of times, these petitions. They're available for free. I don't know how many thousands people have done. If the law was there, we're wrong about all this stuff. You think one congressman, senator, at least would say, you're wrong. You missed this. Here's a law. You all got to file income tax. Come on, get a lot. Here's the law. But they never have. Not once. Not one congressman ever showed us we're wrong about this. We have these petitions on our website, okay, that have all that in there, okay? And these petitions are about individual income taxes, employment taxes, self-employment taxes, and 1099s. I get one of them here for you guys, okay? And here we are. They're for free. You can do it for free. It's your right. It's your duty as a patriot, as an American, to write your representatives. Tell them about that they should investigate the crookedness, deception of the IRS and Department of Injustice lawyers and even double crooked judges who work together have enslaved you. In these petitions, we quote the law like you saw. Verbatim, U.S. government's official legal websites. The whole thing is an essay on the law. It's all based on U.S. government's official legal websites again, right? So at the end of these petitions, folks, okay, first of all, the law that we are quoting in these petitions are listed. Okay, all of them. Okay, and on top of being listed at the end, they're attached. Here it is, section 1 of the code, and highlighted, dummy proof. Right? And then on top of that, at the end of the letter, we have these humble words to say. Okay? This is for a couple. We are not liable to pay any federal income tax. because I'm not a citizen or resident of DC, nor a federal worker, contractor, or pensioner. Only those people got to pay federal income tax, not me or 98% of you watching this. And we say this. We appreciate your service to our country and for taking the time to fully read our letter. If by reading this letter, with officially published Internal Revenue Code and Code of Federal Regulations sections, those are U.S. Treasury regulations, Supreme Court cases, and U.S. Constitution quote attached, you can show us that we have somehow misinterpreted these statutes, regulations, or U.S. Supreme Court decisions, and that we do owe federal income taxes, we will gladly pay all taxes due and will consider such payment to be our fair share. See, you've been humble. You're not trying to hide. You're not trying to be evil either. You say very humbly, look, just show me where I'm wrong, and I will gladly pay my fair share of taxes. I mean, after all, it is from government's official legal websites, but if I'm wrong, I'm happy to be corrected. But they can't. They can't show you wrong because you're right. So when they don't show you wrong, obviously you're right, you can, boom, stop paying taxes right now. On our website, freedommoscow.org, if you're an employee, we got instructions how you can legally and safely stop income tax withholding from your paycheck. If you're a business owner, independent contractor, stop doing those quarterly estimated payments. If you're LLC, trust, or corporation, no more income tax on those either, because your corporation trust is not a Washington, D.C. corporation trust or partnership. No more K-1 reports. None of that stuff. It's not for you. It's for the D.C. people, folks. D.C. organizations. Okay? So, we asked the congressman that when their independent research verifies our discovery that the U.S. individual income tax does not apply to the average Americans like us in the 50 states, we urge you to educate your Congress members about this matter and see if they agree that this justifies conducting an investigation to expose the truth about this government renegade conspiracy and put an end to impoverishing Americans. We look forward to your timely, specific, and upon reply, which of course they've never, not once, shown us we're wrong. We're right. So give me some lemon juice, boy. I played from inside lemon juice with salt water. Thank you. So basically, all this is free. You're no longer a slave. You should do it. It's your right. It's your duty as an American to be free and keep 100% of your hard-earned money. Okay, why give you money to this DC swamp? They got open borders. They will overrun you with all these new voters they want to bring from all over the world, right? They cheat, this communist Democrats, and then they want to. You complain about the election fraud that they did, right? And against Trump, and you go demonstrate, walk through the Capitol. Oh, they want to put you in jail for insurrection. But you complain. Shut up, slave. You have no voice in government. You have no vote. Your vote doesn't count. We cheat. You complain, we put you in prison. And we are so powerful, even Donald Trump, the former president, we've been going after him. So you are nothing. You are nobody. You better just get in line, slave. That's their attitude, folks. Do you want to be a slave? Would you be content to be a slave? I'm not. I hope you're not either. So do this, write to them, stop paying them income tax, keep your hard-earned money for you and your family you work for. Now, there's another step, optional. You don't have to do it. It's not for everybody, but some people tell me, Payman, I still would like to have somebody back me up. Somebody like you who've done it for over 30 years, be there for me. Fine. If you want to do that, we'll give you a plan to keep you free. That's right. And that is, if you join us, if you have an attitude of America's founding fathers, these great men followed the revolution and gave us this system of government that on paper still recognizes our rights. They do. The laws are made properly. Most of them are. We just are ignorant of the law. We're not using it and asserting our rights in the law. Okay? So what you got to do, folks, is like do what they did. Where is that? Here we go. No, I think, here we go. I got it. Step 6. You may join the Restore Freedom Plan. You look, some of the fridge already there has to bring some there. Ask them there in the fridge, just salt water for me, please, with lemon. They got it from previous weeks. Yeah, doesn't matter. It's okay. Join the Restore Freedom Plan, folks, for modern day founding fathers of America. The privilege of 100% guarantee is available. You can enjoy our 100% guarantee when you legally stop filing and paying income taxes, as long as you are a member of the Restore Freedom Plan. And Freedom Law School will prevent the IRS from levying your money or freedom. Freedom Law School will reimburse you. You will not go to prison. These petitions, we're relying on the law, will guarantee you're not going to go to prison. And by putting our funds together, we fight for you. We pay all the lawyers, CPAs, unlimited consultation support, employers, IRS, everything. We do it for you. And we win because we rely on the law. But even if we were to lose, we'll reimburse you 100%. You lose, IRS takes 10,000 from you or 10 million, we'll reimburse you. Just like the founding fathers did. Yep. Remember, what did Benjamin Franklin tell as fellow founding fathers? Gentlemen, we must hang together, or else we shall all hang separately. That's what they did, and that's what they won. And that's what we need to do, ladies and gentlemen. We're to hang together to restore America to its greatness and save America for ourselves, our children, and our grandchildren. It's up to us, folks. If it's to be, it's up to me and you. If not now, when? We already have political prisoners in America now. In America, political prisoners in prison languishing. January 6th. And they're getting it in your face, they're doing this. Are you going to put up with that? I'm not. I invite you to join hands with us so we can restore America to freedom. And we need modern day America's. Well, people ask me how much that costs. This is very simple. If you choose to do that, it's an option. You don't have to do it, remember? 70% of what you pay the IRS, you keep. 30% you contribute to the Restore Freedom Plan. So let's say you would pay IRS normally $10,000, you keep $7,000, and 30% you give to Restore Freedom Plan, along with everybody else who does the same thing. Someone who pays the IRS normally $1 million keeps $700,000 and contributes 30% to Restore Freedom Plan. The minimum membership is $2,000 a year. So everybody can afford to join, even low-income people. Now, if you're really, really poor, low income, on Social Security, or on disability, all this stuff, minimum wage, Walmart worker at McDonald's, great, I got a great news for you. Okay? You can start with $500 down payment on $2,000 and tell others about America, and we pay you. We pay you 50% referral rewards. Become a modern day Paul Revere. Spread the word. Tell American people about the truth. Get on the Freedom Law School horse. Empower the American people with the law and restore freedom for America and our families. Yes, that's what you want to do. All you low-income people, I don't want to hear nobody. People, I don't have no money. I'm poor. I'm this, that. Okay, you're poor. Not anymore. You have an opportunity to be a Paul Revere and get prosperous. Ooh. Folks, it's the total win-win, love. I can't think of a better way to win for everybody, right? Remember, you're on Social Security. Some of you are old on Social Security. fine. Put $500 only on $2,000 payment plan. Pay off the rest of your plan with referrals, and we pay you cash in the mail to you. Yes, don't have to be poor. Don't be dependent on government. You don't need to be dependent on the government at all. You can be free, like the founding fathers of America, and prosperous at the same time. So, folks, is this it? It's all there. So, any questions? I'm happy to take it right now.
All right, folks. Paymon's ready to take a few questions. I please ask you at this point, we are very limited on time, so just remember that. Try to make your questions relevant to what he's discussed. I'm going to ask the first question since I'm first in line. I get to do that. I'm the host, I get to do those kind of things. But Paymon, I think probably one of the most common questions you probably get is, okay, this is good. Essentially, you're fairly clean going forward in what you're going to do for your planning going forward. How might you address somebody who maybe already has some issues going on, or maybe they've filed in the past and they got something going on?
I will help you with the pre-existing problems you got. I'm very busy. There's only one on me. I've trained other people, but I charge $1,000 an hour because I'm such high demand. But I will help you. But a lot of times with a little consultation, I can help you at no charge. A lot of times, not a
Okay.
problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lot of different scenarios. So hopefully, people, you don't bring that up in these questions here. We don't hear about your scenarios and your situation. Just ask Pamela about what he presented tonight. So if you've got your hand up, I'll be happy to grab those. So let's see here. Find my hand raising function here. AC, go ahead.
Hey TJ, how you doing, Paymon?
Good, Casey.
Good,
Thank
Casey. Thank
I got a question for you guys. I noticed that we were reading the U.S. code.
you. Yes.
Yes.
For the echo. For the U.S. code, that's for the federal government, right?
Correct.
Correct.
So for our individual states, is the process the same?
No.
No.
States are
States are
Mute yourself when
mute
you're done
yourself when
asking
you're
your
done
question.
asking.
American states are countries. Every state is a country. So the states that claim to follow the federal law, most of them, like, California, most of the state, Arizona, if you don't have to file federal income tax, you don't have to file state either. Only a few states have system independent of the federal government. That's New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Alabama, and I think it's one more state, Arkansas. Other than that, those states you have to pay state income tax, and the other states you don't.
Because they follow the Fed, basically.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. So whatever you
So
find
whatever
out,
you find out,
is
that's
what you find
what you find out.
out. Somebody else, keep yourself muted if you're out there. All right. Next question.
Next question.
Sorry, getting these feedback echoes, but it does happen. Steve.
Hey, TJ. Yeah. So I was just wondering if all of this can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Because I'm on my cell phone. I had to be tonight.
Sound great.
But I was just curious if, all this FATCA, all the federal, like the offshore type stuff how would that be affected in any way as far as, because if they're connected to one of these places that's going to report it, like in Belize or wherever it is, it doesn't matter if they're connected and we have to fill out those forms. How is that handled any different? If you can just elaborate a little bit.
Those apply to citizen and resident in DC, not. So don't worry about it. Remember, the IRS is not using W-2s and 1099s. That third party sent to the IRS about you. Can you put me on the camera, please, TJ? So I want to explain something to them.
Say again.
Yeah, could you put me on they can see me? Put me on the camera.
Oh, I think you are.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So, The IRS is not using those W-2s at 1099s that some bank or employer might send to the IRS. Or as long as it got you believing that because IRS receives those 1099s from a bank or third party, that they're gonna come after you, they got you. See, that's why they have a copy sent to the IRS. Not the IRS will use it, but because the IRS knows you believe the IRS will come get you. And that belief is enough for them to get you. So you can go do anything about offshore you want. Have at it. It's all yours. But why bother? Why not be onshore? Right here, you're fine. Okay?
Okay. Next question is Dave M.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. I got just a couple quick questions. First of all, thank you for all the wonderful information. If you haven't filed for a good number of years, can you still work with this program that you have?
Yes.
And okay. So it doesn't affect how long it's been there. So is there like no maximum time? How far back can you go if you haven't filed?
Our protection can go back only a few years to 2020. We can protect you for 2020 forward 100%. Before that, we'll protect you, but with no guarantees. That would be
Got
a
it.
pre-existing charge potentially for the previous years.
Okay.
At that time.
Okay. Awesome. And is there a specific time that you have to file? Are there restrictions on that? Does everything have to be done by April 15th or can your program be done anytime during the year?
Ideally, you do your petitions now because you want to give ideally 60 days for the congressman to refute you, and then you decide not to file. So right now it's February 20th. April 15th is less than 60 days away. So if you do it next few weeks, like do it by March, 15, that's still okay because you're giving the congressman 30 days before you say, no, I'm not going to file. Okay, so checking with them is your defense. Do that as soon as possible. Do the petitions this week. It's better than next week or next month. The sooner the better. Before that April 15th deadline.
If you don't do it, can you can't do it after the 15th, I would imagine. Is kind of what you're saying.
It's just better to do it earlier.
Got it. Okay. Okay. And then one last little tiny question. Is there a maximum of income that would potentially prohibit you for doing anything like this, or does it apply to everybody regardless of the income amount? In other words, are there any restrictions?
You'll be a billionaire, millionaire, or poverty, doesn't matter. Everybody can join hands. That's why I did it this way. And this way, everybody can participate. The billionaire can get involved. So can the guy on McDonald's or Social Security. Everybody can get involved. As Americans, we can all get involved.
Does it make a difference? 1099 W-2, correct?
They don't use them. They used to use 1099 W-2s, as I showed you. See on my website. They use and K-1s, but they don't. And corporations don't have to pay income tax, estate tax, gun manufacturing tax, gambling tax. None of these taxes you have to pay at all. They use the same definitions. The taxes you must pay like oil taxes. Okay, that type of thing. Alcohol, tobacco, that type of thing. Those excise taxes.
Awesome. That's what I needed to know. Thank you very much for your help and sharing with all of us. Appreciate it very much.
You're welcome, David. My pleasure.
You're welcome. Let's see. Adam, have you been up yet?
Not yet. No.
Okay.
TJ, Payman, thank you very much
Yeah.
for your time. Does your course or couple membership, Payman, cover does it cover anything about sales tax and go into depth for companies? Because I have an existing company that does a lot of, we sell products, we have marketing services, so it's kind of all over the place. But I want to know what I can do to from the ground up prevent myself from, I suppose you could say, paying taxes where I can lawfully not pay taxes. That makes
Sales
sense.
taxes, property taxes, always lawful taxes you must pay. What you don't have to pay is federal income taxes, federal payroll taxes, federal corporate taxes, federal estate taxes, okay, federal gambling taxes. Most income taxes don't have to pay. Is that enough? We got to pay a few things to keep those local state sales tax and property taxes paid for the police, sheriff, courts, roads, firemen, all these things that we need. They're paid by those taxes. That's always been America. So just pay those. And you may want to move to a state which has lower sales tax, perhaps. What state do you live out of, by the way?
I live out of Rhode Island, but my incorporation or LLCs, all of them are in Delaware.
Okay. So that's a whole different specialty I don't really work on. I know that's a few states like Oregon do not have a sales tax. So that might be helpful to you. That's a tip I can give you, perhaps. But
Thank you.
Those taxes I don't deal with, and just pay them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really just a pass through. Customer gives it to you, give it to them. Give it to the
Gotcha.
government.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Richard, I think you're up.
Howdy. I was
Yeah.
just going to ask, you said something earlier about if you're not a resident of Washington, D.C., or not a federal employee or a federal retiree, a pensioner. So if you're if you get a U.S. Postal Service pension, that wouldn't work for you then, right?
On that income, you must pay income tax.
Gotcha.
You don't.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good question.
Thank you, sir.
Mhm.
Okay. I believe it's German.
Yes.
German Pierre, yeah. Okay.
Yes. How you doing?
Good. Go ahead. We hear
Fine.
you.
Fine. I have a question. On the step seats, I didn't get you say it's optional, but I didn't get about the 30% of the income. When you say 30% of the income that we have to pay, I don't know if it's gonna be every
30% what
year
you
or
would have paid the IRS. Whatever you would pay the IRS, you'd be 30% of that.
Would have
oh,
paid.
but how is it gonna be every year?
Every year, correct? So you
So how
basically divorce the IRS, divorce the federal government, and join the freedom movement to protect you. You join hands with people like yourself, German,
Yes.
protect each other through Freedom Law School. Literally,
Okay,
that's what.
I'm sorry. How are we
Why would
gonna
you remarry
determine
that lady you
that?
divorced? Come on.
Hey,
Just stop
Because
doing
you
it.
could voluntarily give them money, you didn't have to pay them.
I know, but how are we going, or how are you going to determine the amount?
On our website, I'll show you. Okay. Go to freedomlawschool.org, our website. Okay. On the top of the page, you see pricing, top center. Okay. So click on pricing, calculator. You say, I agree with the terms, which is no big deal. And put the information. This is 2023. I'm going to say make this a little bigger for you. Here we go. Make it bigger. There we go. Let's make it easier. So you fill out this application for 2023. You can go back up to 2020. Which year you want, you may want multiple years, but you got to go now and years back. And that's with marital status. You put, let's say, married person. Is spouse joining with you? Say usually yes. Okay. Please enter the combined income field below. W2. Let's suppose your wife makes, for example, $50,000. Okay, and you have a business and independent contractor. You make 100,000. Okay, and get your own business, net profits. Okay, how much tax was already withheld? Well, gee, last year your wife had $4,000 withheld from a paycheck. Okay, does not include Social Security, Medicare. Okay,
Yeah.
Every dependent on children on age 16 and under, let's suppose you got one. Put it in there. Have you had forms of income? If you do, you say, yes, we have these other ones. Let's suppose you have interest of $2,000. Okay. You have 0 dividends and distributions, short-term stocks, 0, long-term stocks, 0. If it was no, then none of this had to be done. Social Security, let's suppose is, let's suppose you have $20,000 in Social Security income. Okay.
Okay.
Let's suppose you had IRA income 401k of 10,000 also. Just example, I'm just throwing a number. Okay, here we go. Here we go. There's a number. We got everything in there. We designed this thing with all the tax numbers and programs and compute to figure out what you would have paid the IRS. So based upon these numbers, you would otherwise pay the DC swamp the IRS $14,500. Your savings from U.S. income tax is $10,000. Your membership contribution rate is only $4,500.
Okay, I'm clear on that. This is and how about the previous steps that you say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? Or either we pay what we have to pay and stop doing it, or we have to go through a process and then stop doing it.
I'm not clear about the question. Would you repeat that, please?
Okay, about the taxes. About the taxes. Do we have to follow some steps before we buy the membership or and then stop, or we buy the membership and then stop doing the taxes? That's my question.
You can get a membership, and then that's okay, and educate yourself right away in the next few months. That's fine. You can do either way. You can check us out in more detail and then join Restore Freedom Plan. Or join Restore Freedom Plan and then educate yourself. Because we want you to be joining the plan and educate yourself both.
No, I'm not clear. I'm clear about the membership. I understand that part. My question is exactly when do we have to stop doing the taxes? Because I didn't do 22 and 23, for example.
Good.
So I just have to buy the membership and I'll be all set.
Yep. You want to join as soon as possible. Because because in a criminal case, ideally you send those letters right away before you stop filing income tax. Now, sometimes people come across us and say, gee, I'm not so sure. They wait 4 months or 2 years or 3 years before they join. Well, and they say, I'm ready to join now. Well, you should have joined back then. Would have been better, but better late than never. Join now. Okay.
Okay. If we join, then you're going to provide the letters that we have to send.
All that will be done for you. If you join, we do all the petitions for you. In the application, you put your signature on there and give us permission to put your signature.
Okay.
Other petitions, we even mail it out for you, certified.
All right.
And get the proof to you and keep a copy in our files also for future reference.
All right. I'm clear now. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
You've essentially already started the process by stopping filing, and now you're just going to cover your bases.
Without knowing.
But
because I really stopped because I pay 21 and they are trying to tax me on deduction. I'm doing Uber drivers and they take some money for the platform and everything that we have to deduct, and they trying to collect taxes on that, and I cannot pay tax on deduction. I told them straight like that, but they keep on around and you're just waiting for them to answer the second time. That's why I stopped doing that thing. But now I'm gonna join and I don't want to say the word, but thank you.
Got you in
much.
the hornet's nest.
Yeah,
in the hornet's nest.
Right.
That's what you get when you put that form in. Trust me.
Yeah.
I know.
Thank you. Bye.
Trying to help others avoid that. Okay. All right. Please lower your hand if you're done. Samsung. We got Mr. Samsung, or is that Mrs. Samsung?
That's Mr. Samsung.
Okay.
Hi, TJ. Thank you very much. I've watched you for a while now, and my thing is there actually a school I can go to learn this stuff?
Online for free. Back in 1990s, I used to teach classes in my living room in my apartment back in Tustin, California. But nowadays, technology has changed. I used to sell my audio tapes of my classes and then CDs. Now it's all online for free. The education is all for free. The course I used to sell is free on our website, freedomlawschool.org. On our RSC channel, we have social media. I put all the for free, many courses for free. I'm glad you asked. I would love for you to go beyond the 7 steps. Take our course called A Practical Road to Freedom from our precedent, taxation, and control, level 1, and another course called level 2. Learn about law and procedures. So much available for free. Anytime you want to do that, please do.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
And
people get the idea that this is going to be hard to learn. Reality is, it's how hard is it to not do something?
Back in the old days, in 1990,
That's what
it was
you're
much
doing.
more difficult. Now with the laws on internet, on your own cell phone, you can look it up. It's like turnkey, plug and play. It's so easy nowadays. So much easier. At the same time, the IRS is falling apart. So like, wow.
slowly but surely.
20 years ago, 30 years ago.
So I have one more small question. Do you think syntax, if I learned how to use syntax, that would be
That won't
smart?
be relevant.
No?
It's just what the law says.
Yeah, this guy, there was a guy named David Woodmiller who put all this garbage out there about using language in a certain way, these adverbs and adjectives, all these complex, convoluted garbage that he claimed to be the authority for. Some nonsense. Guys, this is patent. Don't go for the patent methodologies. I'll give you a list of some of the more common, baseless legal theories out there. Revocation of election. I'm not a U.S. citizen. I'm the U.S. national. I'm a state citizen. I'm a sovereign citizen. UCC, HR bankruptcy. You can get bankruptcy in the United States. I'm under common law, not admiralty, Euro French flag law. You know, straw man, redemption, expatriation, repatriation, copyrighting your name in all capital letters. You know, that's not me. All caps is not me. That's a dead corporate fictional entity, and on and on. All these are utter nonsense garbage. Listen, TJ and I, both of us started with patent methodologies.
Yeah.
Back in 92, I did. So did TJ. So did many of you. So congratulations. You finally came across TJ and I teaching you real law from the Declaration of Independence, U.S. Constitution, Bill of Rights, and our laws from government's official legal websites. Okay, so all that patent mythology nonsense, do yourself a favor. Do TJ and I a favor. Your friend who turned you on to it, expose him to Freedom Law School. Get him away from patent mythology before they get into trouble.
Yeah, especially when it comes to tax issues. The answer is already right there.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking more of my bond issue.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that kind of stuff tonight. We're just talking about what Payman
Bond
discussed.
is another one of those. Guys, there's no bond against your birth certificate argument, your bond, treasury account, all that stuff, QSIP number. And that's another garbage patent mythology, folks. Do not believe anybody. Do not believe anybody. Make everybody prove what they say. What I say is the founding fathers of America recognize your rights come from your creator above, God. They said that in the Declaration of Independence. Do you agree with that? Of course you do. We hold these rights. We hold this self-evident that all rights come from God, right? We're endowed by our creator with these rights, include life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. The whole American system of law based upon that belief. Not from England, other countries, the rights come from a king or government. So right there, you got what you want. You don't need to do all this, UCC and bond and birth certificate nonsense garbage to get your status back. I'm a sovereign. I'm no longer this status argument or jurisdiction arguments. You don't need to make none of that stuff. This is all nonsense.
It's already written out for you what you need to do.
People go to prison and lose this stuff because of that stuff. Why do you think I'm the only leader? You look at the only leader on a tax truth movement in America since World War II to not go to prison for taxes? or put out of business by the IRS or close up shop. All the people that take this garbage that they've got passed out to you, bond, all that nonsense, they come and go like a bunch of flies. So don't do that. You should look at what you can verify for yourself.
Okay.
And it's
I
that the
appreciate it.
information he is talking about is right there already in black and white. You don't have to do something else outside of that when it comes to taxes. Okay. I'm gonna get to
I
the next
appreciate you
caller,
guys.
if I could, please.
Thank you.
All right. Next one is Dave. Dave M.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up a little bit as got to thinking a little bit more as information transpires. The petitions that get filed or that get submitted, if you are behind on taxes, do you have to be current before you can submit those, or do you still have to file the taxes that you may not have filed yet? And will your work basically nullify the need to file taxes in previous years? I don't know if I'm asking the right question, but maybe you can figure what I'm trying to say.
If you got any pre-existing issue, we'll try to help you with that. No problem.
No pre-existing issue.
All pre-existing issues, sometimes I can help you for free. Sometimes, it may be extra charge to help you with that, but we don't leave anybody behind, my friend. We'll take care of you. We'll be there for you.
Okay, but do I need to be current? Do I need to worry? Do I need to put tax stuff together?
There's nothing to be current.
I know that.
Free. What's to be current about?
So maybe put it this way: do we go back in time and say, because this is what I'm learning from you, do we go back in time, or do we take, like if we were to start right now with you, for example, what do I do with the previous years? Do we just say your petitions will absolve the previous year's need to file, or
every
we still
year
need to file and bring forward?
Every year is a separate taxable event. Okay, for the previous year, you could confess to owe the IRS. I do not have a system yet to clear the old years up. I'm working on that because you were deceived into filing and saying, I owe you money, IRS. We never really did.
Yes.
I'm working on something like that to put together to clear up the old years that you filed confession forms. That's a very big, serious project. I want to do it right. But for right now, we're going to, from here forward, from here, you stop filing, cover it from here forward. And the old years, we somehow deal with it one way or another, depending how bad it is. We'll do our best. I know a lot about tax law. I have CPAs work for me. I got CPAs who work with us, who believe in this stuff. We're our members. Okay, so it's not a problem there. But I cannot give you an answer about your specifics because I got to see the specifics of your case.
Sure, I understand. And I was just wondering if there's a need to go and bring those forward before we can do petitions.
By bringing forward.
Previous years, filed previous years, so that we can then use the services.
We'll cover you for the old years.
You've already stopped filing.
If you stop filing, we cover the old years. That's great that you stop filing. That's good.
That's less to clean up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about that in essence.
No.
As long as, okay. I think I'm understanding what you're saying then, is because on a 1099 employee basis, I don't have anything withheld. So there's nothing for me to worry about them holding on to. So for those years, then I don't have to worry about that because you can say we've already stopped back then. So it's not an issue. So if I'm 2 years behind, as an example, I don't necessarily need to do those 2 years because your work will take care of that. And we don't actually have to confess anymore, I think is the word that you use.
I'll take it back as many years, before 2020 also. There'd be separate membership for those, but they do not come with a guarantee.
Got it.
20 and forward they have. That's all. 2020 forward, come with 100% guarantee. The old years, we give separate membership, we'll cover them, but there'll be no guarantee. But you should be fine there too. I don't want to guarantee something that, in the past may have started without us. That's all. But we'll still cover you for those years anyhow. We do our best to have you be free, my friend.
Thank you. That's what I need clarification on. Again, I appreciate your time and your help.
My pleasure.
Let's see, Nate, I think you've already been up, so I'm going to go over to Richard.
Hi, sorry, one more quick question. I was the
I have,
one that asked about the postal pension. Now I'm just wondering, how about Social Security? That's something we paid in ourselves, so it's basically our money, right?
No. Your money was spent right away down the federal rat hole. They lied
Oh,
to you.
perfect.
They lied to you that your money goes toward your retirement. That's not true. That's
Right.
they got your political support for this socialistic scam. The money was spent right there. The money paid to you right now comes from other people who they are stealing from. Okay.
Ponzi scheme.
Money already today
Ponzi, yeah.
payments are going to Ukraine right now, go to Israel right now. Okay. Go all the corruption and waste of the federal government. Okay. So they have this dog and pony show, but pretend like what you paid in, what you take out in a relationship, but they don't. They can change that tomorrow. Tomorrow by law, if they want, they can stop paying everybody's Social Security. Congress can simply stop it. There is no trust fund that they put your money aside.
Okay, so I guess my question is then, I would have to pay on my federal pension through the Postal Service, but do you have to, under what you're teaching here, would you have to pay on Social Security, income tax on Social Security?
You don't.
Great, okay. Thank you. That was my only question. I appreciate it. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Joe Zeg?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so quick question. When we're determining net profit and determining your fee, so we're really not filing taxes, but we have to do a tax anyway to determine our net income for the fee. Is that correct?
Not necessarily for most people, as you see, the form is pretty simple. Okay. For most people, it's really let me show you, this is very short. Hold on, let me take you to back the previous page. Let's see. Okay. Okay, let me close this one to do it again properly. Pricing. I don't know why it doesn't do that. Okay. Okay. For a lot of people, it's what's up here. This is very short.
This olive oil
Either
nozzle is
a
all
W-2 employment
rancid and
job,
jacked up.
independent contractor.
You want me to just toss it?
Okay. Have a
Sorry.
little bit of withholding, perhaps. It's very simple. Okay, it's a very short form. You can do it right there quickly. It gives you not even a couple minutes.
You want to keep the base and try and get a new nozzle?
Okay.
Okay, I'll just toss it all.
But some people that have investments, more complex stuff, this takes a little bit more complex for the people with investments, capital gains, retirement. And then if you got a lot of stuff going on, if you have a lot of investments and this, that, the other, and businesses, rental property, whatever, you can fill out a dummy 1040 form. Don't sign it. Don't give it to the IRS. Figure out what the number is. Let's say on this form, it says that you would have paid the IRS, okay? Let's say $100,000, for example. So in that example, okay, now you keep $70,000 of that, what you would have paid the IRS, and your membership would be the other $30,000. So you can do it that way too. That's fine, but that's maybe 1% of cases that people do it based upon their tax return. Usually, the simple form on our website is sufficient for most people to figure out how much their membership is.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Let's see. How are we doing on time? We're about at our max here. Do you have time for one more, Payman?
Sure.
Okay. Nate, you're back up. One quick question.
all right. Thanks, TJ. Appreciate you guys. I had a question really because I kind of learned this a little bit, and I was learning about the fact that we really didn't have to pay those taxes. And I was about to mail in a Form 56. Is that right?
Nope.
Would that be the right thing to do? When trying to make sure I'm pretty much letting them know I'm aware that I didn't have to do that.
Nope. That's probably a more patriot mythology. About it knows concerning fiduciary relationship. Oh my gosh. One is, you're not a fiduciary. Okay, there's no fiduciary about you. Okay,
Mhm.
that's another patron mythology, garbage, baseless legal theory out there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'll just summarize by saying, guys, once you get the idea how this works, it's really about not doing something. You do the proactive step of sending your letters out, which is your good faith defense. That's like your insurance policy once you put that out there. But that's a timeline. Obviously, going back and dealing with a few past matters might come up, but the reality is you're starting to move forward correctly. That's the key.
I got time for one more question, guys. Every Thursday night, we have a freedom hour in which I record and answer people's questions afterwards at no charge.
Okay.
Okay, but I can take one more question, guys, and
One more.
and
Right.
I gotta go. I'm afraid.
Well, I'll take you since you haven't been up.
Thank you very much. This may be a little off topic, but I want to kind of address this.
Very brief question. Very
Yes,
brief. quick
I
question.
went through the process and received a 98 number. I went to the IRS website under 21.7.13.3.2.7.
Is 98 number effective thing to do? Is that what you're going to ask?
Yeah, so
Just ask.
it says that we're considered foreign entities, persons that are not required to file U.S. taxes, and it walks you through step by step how to actually achieve a 98 number where the IRS zeroes out your file by placing a 0 on your IRS file. And so I went through the process. It breaks it down verbatim, and I received a 98 number. Has anybody ever went through that process?
No, because that's a misunderstanding of the law. I just looked it up. The 98 number is with any foreign entity that maintains a domestic trust within Washington, D.C. Do you have a trust within Washington, D.C. that you have investment from or any relationship with it? If so, that would be the right form for you.
But it specifically says, so you're supposed to get this 98 number. And that's if you have excuse me, I'm sorry. If you have they zero out your file.
Hold on, listen. The answer is right here in this letter from the IRS. Okay? It's a beginning with the number, beginning with the number 98 may identify foreign entities that maintain domestic trust in the United States. There it is. There's an IRS form letter. Forget about your patron mythology source that told you that nonsense. Stop listening to patron mythology leaders out there, folks, who make up stuff. I just by a little search online got this form letter from the IRS. Without doing too much research, there's the answer right there. And it makes sense. Folks, there's no form for someone from Japan, France, Egypt, Florida, Texas, or California. Because none of you have anything to do with Washington, D.C. Got that in your head?
Right. If I could just add
that letter says
just
in the United
hard
States.
as Kenya and South Africa to DC. So these forms are for somebody who has something to do in a relationship with Washington, D.C. Do you have anything going on in any way with Washington, D.C.?
Right. And the last part that it says.
Hold on, answer my question. I'm trying to help you. Do you have anything going on with any relationship with Washington, D.C.?
No, that's
This form is not for you, period.
I'm not affiliated with Washington, D.C. in whatsoever, but it specifically says that if a foreign entity / individual receives a letter from the IRS soliciting the filing of U.S. tax return, the foreign entity individual should respond to the letter immediately by stating that it has no requirement to file any U.S. tax returns. But if you fail to respond to the IRS letter, may result in procedural assessments of taxes by the IRS against the foreign entity only. That's it. And it walks you through step by step.
Hold on, my friend. I cannot comment on something I cannot see. Okay, these letters you're reading, I cannot comment on that, my friend. And no matter how much you read me more of it, I need to see it, read it slowly, like this online letter. I got to see that at least. I found on my own about this 98 number you're talking about. But I cannot comment on something I cannot see, my friend. So, you know, if you want to do a paid consultation, I'll look at it in more detail. We'll be with you if you want to. If you want to send it for Thursday night Freedom Hour I got for free, I'll check it out. I'll talk about it. But send it to me first in advance of Thursday night, up to 10 pages. I'll look for free and I'll discuss it with you there, my friend.
Right. This is actually on the IRS website. This is their law.
Okay, good. That's fine. But give me the copy of it. I'm not a magician to know, oh, IRS's website, I have it. No, you gotta show me directed to it and I'll check it out.
But I can tell you,
All right. thank
Paymon's been doing it without the 98 number process for 30 years.
Yeah, but what I figured out is that most people, and I'm not saying this is everyone, but one thing that they do, it's hidden in plain sight. And so a lot of people don't take the time to read through the IRS manual because it's so extreme and big. But not only do they tell you on the 21.7.13, 3.2.7.1, it also tells the
That was a quick
IRS
question.
agent specifically what they should ask for from the individual in order to get the 98 number. But I think the intent is for us to zero out the account, which you get an O file once you go through that process, and that is actually getting
Okay, well, that's something you can send it rather than trying to read us all the law. We're out of time. Pamela just gave you a way you could actually have him
And here it
review
is.
what you're
I
looking at.
found it online on Taxpayer Advocate website. Okay, look at my screen. This is the taxpayeradvocate.irs.gov. If your business is in the United States, which means the District of Columbia or the U.S. territory, it's right there.
Right there.
Then you can apply for an EIN online. Okay, that's what EIN did. This is what this page is on the 98. Let's see, on the 98 number that came up here. Let me see on the search. That's what came up. Let me see if there's another one here. Okay, so just do a little search on this. Don't take tips for applying for EIN as debtor and for business. Okay, a lot of people are becoming more interested in getting their foreign grantor for a trust, not an EIN. Okay, so let me suggest that you just again demand proof. Understand these terms. Whether it's the U.S., what is U.S.? Foreign with respect to what? It's not foreign with respect to 50 states. It's foreign with respect to D.C. You don't have to even play these games. It doesn't even belong to you. You're not part of the United States for tax purposes. This Internal Revenue Code is meant for anybody, anything, and their forms within DC and territories. The form has something to do with this. You don't even belong in there anymore. Some from Japan or Kenya or Egypt or Germany. So you don't even go there. You don't even belong there, my friend. Okay. Anyhow, if you have further questions, again, Thursday nights, I cover a topic and answer questions afterwards also for more detail. Okay. So folks, I wish I could be longer, but I got to go. I'm trying to help a guy with the January 6th defendants. They try to put that guy in prison. Okay. I do help people at no charge also sometimes. Okay. I believe in freedom. For me, it's not about money. It's not about taxes. It's about freedom. I'm a political freedom fighter, number one. Everybody to freedom and justice. And I love you all. Once you live free, it's all there. So I hope you can join hands with each other to have America be free. TJ is a man of love and truth, and he reached out to you, give you a chance to be exposed to truth. It's up to you now. Check it out at freedomlawschool.org. And he'll be the guide you through also. Call our office. We'll answer your questions at no charge. Yes. I have people to answer the phone and talk to you. If you have questions, they'll guide you through our website if you have questions that are there, perhaps. So, but it's up to you, folks. I'm going to do it all for you. All I can do, put it out there. I invite you to live free by yourself if you want to. You have that option. Or join hands with each other to be free together as American people. Thank you, TJ, for having me. Thank you all. I love you all. Wish you all a great evening. Hope to meet you all very soon. Oh, by the way, I'll be in Georgia. Where's that event? In Georgia, in Atlanta suburb. I'll be in Atlanta suburb. This event coming up in March. You should announce that to me. I didn't do that. Let me see. Events on our website. That's right. March 14th, Lanier Islands Resort in Beaufort, Georgia. It's a suburb of Atlanta. So you may want to be the Next Steps conference, okay? March 14th through 17th in Atlanta suburb. So go to our website. If that's hopefully it's close to you, want to meet me in person, talk more in person, I'd be glad to meet you in person, talk to you more there as well.
That's great. Well, Payman, thank you so much for being here, giving us so much of your time and your generous information. Folks, remember to mention that we sent you. If you go over to his website, check it out. When it comes to this subject, guys, this is it. This is the best expert you're going to find, and you don't have to go outside the boundaries of what he's showing you. It really is as simple as not doing something rather than looking for what you need to do. If you think of it like that, you'll start to see what a great idea this is. And it is the most solid thing I've seen. Like I said, had I taken this advice 10 years ago, my last 10 years would have been way different. But it's okay. It's okay. I took a few bullets for you guys so that I can teach you how not to take bullets. Okay. I'm a sergeant. You know, I've had many things thrown at me in life. And I want to rely upon the people that have been there as well, who've taken the bullets. Paymon's one of those people. And you can trust that he's going to tell you the truth. Because the truth is pretty simple. And it's the real thing. It's the only one real thing there is. So stick with that. And everyone else, for those who will have this recording up in the premium member area later this evening. So if you're not a premium member, get yourself set up so you're in that area and you can see it. And I guess that's it for now.
Thanks for having me, TJ. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, my friend.
Bye-bye.